we closed the chapter on last week's game. Last night had a good meeting. I couldn't be more proud of the guys in the room. The guys in the building. Coaches. As players as well. I mean, our scout team. Just all around. It's a heck of a team win. And I know it's coach cliche talking about team wins and all that all the time, but it's fact. It really is, and it's not just coach talk. From the scout team in the back, if we don't get a good look during the week, which we think we got a pretty darn good look, it doesn't happen. So, just happy with the efforts in this building. One of the number one keys to victory that I kind of brought up to our guys during the week and on Friday night and Saturday was just composure. Sometimes these rivalry games can get you so pumped up, that you lose yourself and you don't play like you need to be. I felt like composure. I asked them to just be, don't get too high, don't get too low. Coach Junk always talked about never getting too high, never get too low. Just saw that wood, and I felt like maybe we got too high at times. We did uncharacteristic stuff that I hadn't seen our guys do this season so far. We had 7 unforced errors, as I told our team last night. It wasn't good enough. 7 of them. 3 on offense, 3 on defense, I believe, and 1 on special teams. Where just the tiny, fine details. Offensively, I don't think we've had a false start all year. And then all of a sudden we got 3 of them in one game. Or at least receivers aren't set. Quarterback snapping it before the receiver's set. Just anxious, I guess. So those are some things that disappointed. Obviously, a lot of drive starters. I think of the penalties we had offensively, almost every one was on a first down. And I think I told you guys back in August we had we had our first scrimmage offensively. We had so many penalties on first down that just kills drives, and that's why the defense beat the offense in our first scrimmage in fall camp, was because of those drive killers. And we've got to eliminate that. We got to get back to who we are and have composure there. So. Those unforced things, and just at times lack of focus on different deals, whether it's playing with 10 guys on our punt return team, just some of those things that we just hadn't seen for the prior 2 games, and then all of a sudden they appear at a day where there's a lot of things going on and you're excited. So we're going to be excited about this game this weekend. So we move into Youngstown State week. Doug Phillips, heck of a coach. I've been doing it for a long time. Done it all over the place. Youngstown State, a playoff team a year ago, beat Duquesne in the first round of the playoffs a year ago. Happened to get beat by Duquesne last weekend. They got beat by Villanova in the playoffs last year, and again played Villanova in the opener this year. So we know what kind of FCS football is. We know what 1AA football is. I played it. Des Reed played it, CJ Lee played it, Poppy Williams played it. We got some darn good football players in this. We got some darn good football players at 12-2, Chris. But we got some darn good football players in this room that are, FCS players. So I think, the first thing you look at is respect, and I respect every one of our opponents. And I look down the roster, I watch videotape. This is a good football team, and again a playoff team. So we're excited about the opportunity to get into this week and get game planning. Bo Bumgard is their quarterback. Starts offensively. They'll personnel you a little bit. They're going to be in 11 personnel, tight end and a back, 3 receivers. They'll be in 12 personnel. They'll be in some 21 personnel, which we don't see much of. 2 backs and a tight end out there. So they'll personnel you. Bo's older brother, I think, was a 4-year starter at Youngstown State, so there's some lineage there as far as what we're going to play against. He's athletic, and he can run with the ball. He can hurt you with his feet. They like to carry. I think they got 19 keepers in our breakdown this year, where the quarterback's just going to take it and run, and they're going to block for him. So he's a good player. They got 2 really good tailbacks, King and Wright, guys that think can carry the ball. One is a Cincinnati transfer. That's got a lot of talent as well. So, they like to, they're, obviously a run-heavy offense, and so much that they are leading, I think, the country in time possession. They had the ball for 41 minutes last week against Duquesne, and they're averaging having the ball for 37 minutes. So, that's been one of, we're not leading the country in time possession. We're probably last in the country in time possession because we haven't had the ball. We scored a lot of points when we have had it, but Like, we need to possess the ball. They're going to try to play keep away with us. So, we can't start slow. We must start fast and keep the ball. And then offensive line-wise, they've got 125 career starts on their offensive line. So they're experienced up front. They're going to, maul you off the ball. Which, if you look at 125 starts, divided by 5 starters from left tackle to right tackle, that means they're averaging 25 starts per guy up on that offensive line. So, and then defensively, John Hanline runs the defense. Really good football coach. Again, very similar to what we play defensively, except probably minus some of the blitzes, but got to play real sound coverage, play 4 down. So we're back to some more 4 down than what we've been the last 2 weeks with the 3 down stuff. So there'll be some good carryover as far as what we do every day in this program and what they're going to see. So with that, I'll stop talking and let you guys ask some questions.
Pat, in the nature of these 2 victories the past 2 weeks and the circumstances surrounding it, does it help you maintain the edge you need, or is it tough to maintain that intense edge week after week?
Well, I'm hopefully going to create an edge. One of our DBs came up to me after our team meeting last night and said, "Coach, smile, we won the game." Okay, so that gives you any indication. That's the first time in 10 years, I've had a player come up to me and say, "Smile, we won the game." Like, because I wasn't very happy, because it's not, like, again, winning's great, that's great, okay, we won. The game's over, we sang the fight song in the locker, but like, let's get back to what we do. And there was a lot of crap on the field that I didn't like, and that's fact. So that's going to create our edge, I think, starting there. Because, again, winning's everything. Okay, we can play crappy and win the football game, but like, did we play the way we wanted to play? Did we play the way you're supposed to be coached to do? Is that what we're asking you to do? No, and we got to clean it up. So, the way we won those last two games, that's great. We found a way to win. We blue-based it, but we can't get used to that. We can't wait and think that we can be comfortable and think that we'll just win it in the fourth quarter. It doesn't matter what happens in first, second, third. So that was the conversation we had last night. That it doesn't get you till it gets you. And, we don't want to be sitting in this room going, "I wish I would have played a better first quarter," anywhere. So those are the things we had conversation wise. So I think I answered your question.
Pat, was that DBPJ by any chance?
Of course.
Okay.
Were you in the room?
Well, I wasn't, but I wanted to.
What, he tweet something last night like Coach is grumpy or what?
No, that was just a guess based off personality. But I wanted to ask about your run defense. It looked like your defensive tackles were getting good push, and there was like problems, I guess, fitting the linebackers with that push. Is there a chemistry that needs to be built between, like, hey, sometimes it's not about pushing, it's about occupying multiple linemen, or maybe it's about how the linebackers are pressing them?
We want the penetration. We got to get perfect alignments. There's times when we don't have perfect alignments in the linebacker position. It's sometimes, we don't step properly as linebackers. Our read steps are slow, but we want penetration. Some of that, Nick James was the best at penetrating. He makes, he got a couple TFLs, I think, or at least one, but he's causing havoc in the backfield. We want to attack you and penetrate you, cause havoc. Then it makes it easier on linebacker. We clear a lot of things up for them. We're not going to be like grab on to guys and hold on to them. To me, we're not that style. That's not who we want to be. That's no fun for a defense to play like that and just say, hey, you play in that A gap, that center and the guard. Don't let them, just hold on to them and don't let them get the backer. Let the backers run through. That's not who we are. That's not who we want to be. You don't get sacks that way. You don't get TFLs. We want to be attacking. We want to be aggressive, but we want to play with good techniques as well. And that's not done all the time in there. We'll continue to get better. I think, again, we've got a lot of young guys. I told you, we've got different guys in there this year. And, we had 3 old men last year. And we got 3 young guys, or 4 young guys, or 5 young guys that have played some football in there. And they'll just continue to get better. But, we'll be okay. Again, they average a little under 4 yards per carry by average. And again, I'm talking per carry. Probably the biggest problem we had was with the draw last week, which we won't have that problem again. It's D tackles rushing their business. I mean, we had some twist games on, and they're rushing it and opening up the A gaps. They're making it worse. So again, it's details that really it's a pass game run that was got us the most. And again, I think when you look at it defensively, we gave up 4 explosives. Our goal was 4 or less. There's only 4 big plays in the game. So offensively we had 10. That's our goal. We had 4 gave up 4 on defense, and we met both of our goals as far as explosives, which one of our other keys to victory was to win the explosive play, and we did that.
As you're quarter of the way through the season, what do you think you've learned about your team so far?
Probably the same thing you have, Amanda. We've learned that, they're gonna find a way to get it done. I think, character-wise, I think, there's a major care factor in here. I think this football team's got goals and aspirations of what they wanna do. Like last night I told them, hey, everything you wanna do is right there. Like, you're sitting there right now, going into game 4 and trying to be 1-0 this week. It's all right there in the palm of your hand. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stay on the same routine you did last week, this week? All those little things. I mean, it's 1 week at a time, and we're at a one game season, and I find that they're serious about it, and there's not a laissez-faire kind of attitude at all. They're locked in. So we'll find out. They got to be locked in every week.
I think after all 3 games, you mentioned that pass protection isn't exactly what you wanted to be. Do you find those areas are more mental or physical?
More physical right now from what I saw the other day. Again, giving up 5 sacks, not happy. Coach Darbo's not happy. Coach Bell's not happy. I think Coach Bell was upset after the game. He couldn't even smile, which I love that. Just like I didn't smile last night, he's not smiling. Nobody's satisfied, and I think that's really where we are right now. But the pass protection's not good. And again, they got good players and all that, but we didn't play well, up front, and again, you win the game and you don't play well up front. And that was other key to victory, Larry. The other key to victory was, we got to win up front. And, offensive line-wise, we did not win up front like we needed to, and that'll get corrected. Again, I love winning when you don't win up front. It's nice to win and not play your best.
I know you guys have played YSU in the past, but given your history with the school, your dad coaching there, you playing there as a freshman, does this game hold any major significance for you being able to play?
No doubt. I mean, there's no question about it. It's significant for me, but I'm not playing the game.
Yeah.
I get to stand on the sideline with a hat on and coaching shoes, but I don't play the game. But it's certainly it's one of those games. I grew up there. I grew up in Youngstown. I was a ball boy this big. I got video for you.
Oh, I can see that.
Ball boy this big, and just like that's how I grew up. Right there. We can talk about 3rd grade. I think is when we moved there. So I mean that was in my blood. That's kind of why I'm a coach. Dad was your hero, and that's what it's significant.
Last week, I think Kate talked about Eli needed to trust more. He needed to trust the receivers, trust the game plan more. And Eli even talked about it after the game on Saturday. Is part of that? It seems like he's holding onto the ball a little bit. Is that leading to some of those sacks? Is that still that thing he needs to develop? Is that trust in his receivers?
Yeah, a little bit. Again, I think he trusts them, but it's one thing to say I trust you. I trust you, Chris. Okay, but you've seen a guy run with me downfield. It's making that throw. I mean, there's a couple times if he trusts and just throws it out there and and again, it's hard. Did he trust Dejon Reynolds on that pass? Must have. It was like 3 guys on him, and he trusted. He threw it up there, and to me, that's a trust play. And he trusted Dejon to go make that play. He threw it up there. He doesn't do that all the time, but sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Sometimes it can cause you to get sacked. Sometimes you don't get the explosive play you want. But I tell you this, one of the other keys to victory was protect the football. And, we're +2 coming out of there, plus a block punt and a touchdown. So you can count that as 3 turnovers. That's like an interception for a touchdown on 3rd down. Although, EJ and the sports information don't count it as another turnover. That's a turnover for a touchdown. But we're really +3 in the turnovers. I mean, and, sometimes that trust can get you into trouble. Well, I thought you were going to be there, and, the other guy made the catch. So, be careful what you wish for. It's one of those, he's protect the football, and that's primary number 1. And the rest will come. I mean, he's game 3 in, going on number 4.
You talked about the composure of the team. What does it say about Eli that he was able to be so composed? I mean, he's 19 years old. This is, 3 games of his collegiate career, and 2 of them have been come from behind. What can you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3 come from behind. It tells you a lot about him. I mean, just, he's going to make those plays, and he's going to trust it when he needs to trust it. And again, 4th quarter, going back to Chris Peak's question there, he trusted in the 4th quarter when he had no choice but to trust him, right? But he was being careful with the ball, in the first 3 quarters. But that'll come with time, that he trusted. But Eli has shown a lot of poise in the pocket, a lot of, composure on the sideline, and, we like where he is.
Was there an easier throw for him to make with three guys covering Dejon?
Was it an easier throw?
Was there another guy who might have been open that, with three guys on?
I don't remember. I was just watching the one guy.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a drag route on the backside that was wide open underneath. I forget about the two, it's 3x1. I forget. I just know the backside we had a drag that was wide open that we could have checked it down to and hit a run for 20. But threw it to the right guy. And again, you think about where he threw it, when he threw it, just the time. You're running out of time of possessions and time to get another possession with the football. So to me, we could have scored on that drive. I think we would have scored on that drive, but it was going to be that quick if we threw it underneath. So timing is everything.
Kyle Lewis from Machine Biles seem like they're playing well. They're putting up a lot of numbers. How are they down to down, snap to snap, the consistency, the responsibility, and all that?
They're pretty good. I mean, they're there's a play here and there, and you're reading your keys, and sometimes your keys lie to you, or sometimes it's a muddy key as far as what they do. But those two guys are playmakers. Seems like every week there's a fight to say who's the best one out of those two right now, because they are playing at a high level. And again, they're different than what we had a year ago with that outside backer spot. They're making more plays. They're aggressive. They pull the trigger, and they don't hesitate. And I think to me, one of the keys I learned as a young linebacker is you can't hesitate in this game. You hesitate, you make no plays. You just sit in the middle doing nothing. Those two pull the trigger and are explosive, and they're playmakers.
You said last week you didn't want to rotate some of the guys on defense. You didn't like that against Cincinnati. I don't think Donovan came off the field at all. I think Kyle Lewis maybe came off for one play after he went down. The machine played about 80% of the snaps. How important have those three been when you're not getting the stop up front? To have those three guys on the secondary levels of defense?
Yeah, I mean, again, we count, Donovan McMillan, depending on the formation, as a run fitter. I mean, he's a run fitter because he's in the box. And all three of those linebackers, the D-line, 4 D linemen aren't going to make the play every time, to your point. But those guys are, those guys, that's why they're in there. That's why they're not coming out. They're the fixers, okay? The D-line does, Chris asked later, the D-line, attacks the line of scrimmage and is, being aggressive up front. And those backers' job are to fix the hole, find the hole, okay? Linebackers do no different, and Donovan McMillan doesn't treat it any different than the linebackers do. Their job is to find the hole, and the holes are being created. You want offensive linemen to turn around, look and see where that D tackle went. But they're the fixers, and you need guys that will go find those holes. And the linebacker's job, safety job, is no different than a tailback job, except the tailback's got the ball in his hand. We don't have the ball in our hand on defense. We're just finding that hole and trying to hit it. And some people think it looks like a blitz at times, but it's just them reading their keys fast and playing fast.
So does that mean the run defense right now, you guys are looking closer, hey, how can we fit our linebackers in those right holes, in the right tower, get them to see those holes fast?
Yeah, and efficiently get there. It's the efficiency. I mean, you'll watch times, Chris, sounds like you're watching a lot of videotape. These linebackers are doing this. Well, you take a false step, it just takes that. I mean, you got to be stepping, with the right foot and gaining ground, and all those fine little details is, and then you got to blitz the right hole when you got to blitz. Don't blitz the wrong hole. There's A gaps and B gaps and C gaps, and you better hit the right one.
Seems like there's always a different player making a big play in these past 2 wins, and what does it mean to have those guys? No matter who goes in, it seems like they're going to make a play that matters most.
Yeah, I mean, that's what good football teams do. If you only have one guy you can throw to, or you only have one linebacker that can make a play, well, they're going to run the other way, and they're going to double cover that receiver. So you have to have, it's called personnel, and doing a pretty good job recruiting, getting the right guys in the program, which again, I think I mentioned this last fall, or last December, January, just with our recruiting class, that I think we made our roster better. I think whether it's through high school recruiting or through the transfer portal, you have some guys leaving, you have some guys come in, and we overall made the thing better than what it was.
What did you think of the student section's support on Saturday?
I'm sorry?
The student section, what did you think of their support on Saturday?
Panther Pitt was outstanding. I don't peek up there very often. King gave some high fives at the end there. just, with some of the folks down there in the end zone there, but, they were outstanding. Need them again this weekend. Appreciate you asking. Again, the game is no fun, without the fans. The game is no fun without, a rowdy student section that we have. I think it's one of the best in the country when you look at the population of what we have, 16,000 students at the University of Pittsburgh. To see that many show up there, I mean, you're talking, that's a lot. There's places that can have 75,000 students, period. 70,000, 60,000 students. We don't have that population, but you look at the percentage of our Panther Pit that shows up and is there and stayed to the end and is helping our football team win. Is incredible. And I'll go back and say we all experienced football with nobody in the stands. Okay, COVID, that was awful. Okay, and I think it was hard to have any energy as a football player. As a coach, it's kind of like, this is awful, and you're sitting there looking around, at empty seats. But to have our fans there like they are, to give respect. We got homecoming this weekend. Youngstown coming in, and should be another nice event to attend.
You mentioned
Nathan, you got the final one.
you mentioned the big plays from different players. In that third quarter, offensively only -2 yards, but you come up with points on the Maverick block and then the Brandon Scupin score. How big was that play just in general that game?
That was big. It was even bigger after they faked the punt with 10 guys on the field. And the guy that's supposed to secure the punt, make sure he punts it, would have been off that edge. So, even bigger after that, because it was like, I think, you give up, usually after a fake punt like that, you're going to, the momentum change and you're going to give up points, but, it went the other way.
How does that happen?
Last one, and maybe we'll
And
give it
10
to
guys
you.
get on.
What's that? What's what?
How does, I mean, I know there's a lot of chaos on the sideline, but I'm just wondering how that happens.
Chaos on the sideline.
Yeah.
Lack of focus. Yeah. So we straightened that up last night too. Hopefully, I told everybody, get away from the special. If you're on that next special team, we have alerts. Punt alert. Everybody gets up. It's third down. It's punt alert. I'm flipping offense, defense, saying punt alert, making sure everybody knows. Defensive bench, they're making adjustments. Maybe they were staring at the iPad, right? Like they stare at their phones, they're staring at the iPad, watching the play again. Let me see that again. Let me see what that D tackle did, or whatever it may be. But it's focus. It's a part of the focus and the details that drive you nuts as a coach. And it's great to learn about it. Let it happen in that game. If that had cost us the football game, we'd all be sick. I might be throwing up right now because it would make me sick if that was what caused us to lose that football game. So, but guys made plays, and Maverick had a heck of a block and cleaned it up and made it all kind of. And again, it's a learning experience, and our guys got to learn from those mistakes.
Coach, thank you very much.